It's time to answer those Q&A questions from last week. But before we do, my name is Jason. This is Huck Outdoors. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications and new videos I've got coming out. I want you to check out that little join button down there too. It's for memberships for the channel, so check that out. But let's get to those Q&A questions. Last week I asked for some questions that you guys wanted answered. And sure enough, I think there was like 12 or 14 questions that you guys left for me and a lot of encouraging words for my dad passing, so thank you for all that. And before we get into those questions and answers, I wanted to show you something. A subscriber made this for me. Check this out. How cool is that? That right there was made by Eric from Coleman Outdoors. Made this for me, along with a few stickers as well. Let's check out the stickers he made. So, just so you see it here, right there, that is his YouTube channel. Check him out, Coleman Outdoors. And he made some stickers for me and gave me a few of his. These are some nice vinyl stickers here. Got different colors here, black, green, red in there, orange, silver, pretty cool. So thank you for that, Eric. I do appreciate it. And let's get to these questions now. First question comes from Tom over there at Following Walker's World. He's on the East Coast. He's doing a van conversion now. Pretty cool to follow along. Check that out. I've got a link down below to his channel. But he said his question is, when the heck are you coming out east somewhere to hike? I have no idea when. I want to get to the East Coast one day. I want to get up to Maine, fish for some brook trout up there. I'd love to go to like the Great Smoky Mountains. I'd love to get up into New York as well. There's some great trails up there, but I just don't know when. There's so much here on the West Coast to see still. So who knows? Maybe one day I'll be out there on the East Coast. Question number 2 comes from Junie Shu. Hopefully I didn't murder your name. If I did, I am sorry. But you said, where can I take my husband Howie for non-fly trout fishing when he gets out of Redlands Hospital? Well, hopefully he's out of the hospital, and hopefully he's out of the hospital now, and hopefully he's doing okay. But what I'm looking at here is probably Green Valley Lake or Lake Gregory. Green Valley Lake has a lot of spots you can pull up to, and they're stocking a lot of trout. So I'd head to Green Valley Lake. You could go across from the boat dock or next to the boat dock. There's some nice spots that you can just pull right up to. It's maybe a 15, 20 feet or 20 foot walk or so. So you could bring them up there. That'd be a good place to bring them to fish. And Green Valley Lake has been stocking almost every other week, so and they do stock some big fish. So I'd say Green Valley Lake. Next question is from my buddy Al. Okay, I have a question. What do you think about all the construction in that area where you live that they're taking all the hiking space away from? And the spot he's talking about is through the Wilson Creek Wash off by Bryant Street in Yucaipa, and they're putting in a bunch of homes there. It's called the Secombe Lake area, and I'm not really for it at all. We already got enough homes in Yucaipa. I know they're putting a lake. Heck, I get to fish it, but I'm just not too happy with it. Don't need all those homes there. I used to like going through there. The trail I'd go through wasn't really a trail, but just like a little made-use trail. A lot of kids would ride mountain bikes down there, and now that's gone. But yeah, I'm not a fan of it. Next is a 2-part question. Comes from Corey Guns. He says, will you be doing any hiking and fishing trip with fans? And well, let's answer that question first. Hopefully we will. Hopefully we'll get another subscriber meetup here in the fall. Hopefully maybe in late August, early September, we'll do another subscriber meetup. Maybe at Silverwood Lake again. Everybody seems to like that spot, and it's a good spot. You can fish, you can hike. If you want a 4x4, there's a lot of trails right nearby as well. So be looking forward to that hopefully in the fall. And your other question, what is your favorite lake to hike to and fish in the Sierras near Bishop, California? Well, my favorite place to fish up there, my favorite lake, would be Mamie Lake in the Mammoth Lake Slough. Just beautiful scenery up there, and usually good fishing. So that would probably be my favorite lake to fish up there nearby Bishop. Next question comes from Mike and Susan over at Love to Wander. Their question is, what place to hike or camp is on the top of your bucket list and why? I got a bunch of bucket list hikes. First off is Canada, like Banff National Park, the Canadian Rockies. There's a trail up in Vancouver along British Columbia. But then there's also New Zealand. I'd love to go to New Zealand, do the Hobbit Trail, go into Hobbit Town. Yeah, I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan, and I'd love to see that area and just with the film sets and just walk the trails that they filmed on would be cool. And besides that, Peru, Machu Picchu. I probably murdered that too, but that'd be another bucket list spot to go to. Next question comes from Scott Valor. He says, what would be your favorite 4 to 5 day backpacking trip suggestion anywhere from Sacramento south? Well, it had to be in the Eastern Sierra. You could probably do something out of Bishop, out of Mammoth, maybe Little Lakes Valley. You could do a loop, maybe going from, heck, you could go out of Golden Trout Wilderness, spend 4 to 5 days there. There's so many places to go in the Sierra, but I do something out of the Eastern Sierra. You do the Bishop Pass area, Mammoth Pass area, Little Lakes Valley. You could go from Horseshoe Meadow up over around through Crabtree Meadow and up to Mount Whitney. I believe that could be done in 4 days. There's so many out there, but it'd be hard to choose any of them in the Eastern Sierra. There's so many. Next question comes from Off Grid. He says, let's see here. My question would be, what is the lightest pack you've ever went backpacking with, and was it an enjoyable trip? So the lightest pack I've done would probably when I did Mount Williamson with David. We went after work on a Friday night, went up to Mount Williamson, spent the night up there. It was really warm temperatures, so didn't bring much. I brought like my Serenity net, my lightest sleeping pad, my 40-degree quilt, and then we went to the plane crash. So that was my lightest pack. I don't remember where I was at. I was probably right around 10 pounds base weight without water. That was pretty darn light. Next question comes from my buddy Matt at Lead Me Outdoors. Check out his channel, link below, and there's a link below to all these people that have YouTube channels. Check them out. They're in the links below. But he says, what is the scariest moment hiking that doesn't involve an animal? Ooh, I don't know. Most of mine are with animals. There's a time where I thought there was a mountain lion on trail and turned out to be a big dog. It was a big golden retriever. I've been my first time backpacking with my buddy Andrew. We heard something behind our tents. We threw out a firecracker, scared it off, but it was big. But besides that, there's been a couple times where I've been day hiking where I got caught in some rain and some thunderstorms. Maybe that, because you never know, like, even though lightning's maybe in the horizon, it might be 5, 6, 7, 10 miles off, the lightning can go for a long ways and you could be in the path of the lightning. So probably one of those trips in a lightning storm. Maybe that was it, but most of my scariest moments were involving animals. But yeah, hope that answers your question, Matt. Next question comes from Emily Chris. Two-part question. It says, what is a good beginner backpacking overnight hike to try out in the Eastern Sierra? And then it says, how easy or difficult is it to obtain a wilderness permit for backpacking? Well, all depends on the areas you're at. Locally, there's areas like the San Gorgonio Wilderness. They have an online registration system, which makes it easy, but at the same point, it's not, because there's a lot of people applying. Same for the Sierras. As soon as those permits go open 6 months in advance at 7 a.m., by 7:01, 7:02, 7:05 at the latest, they're sold out. So many people have gone to backpacking now that it's hard to get those permits. There's still areas, though, that don't need permits. You could go to like Domeland Wilderness, a Golden Trout Wilderness. There's areas right in there that are permit free. But what would be a good beginning backpacking trip? I'd say Little Lakes Valley. It's beautiful there. A Golden Trout Wilderness, maybe down to like Viejas Meadow or Domeland Wilderness. It's not too bad. There's water there, so you have to make a big water carry. Beautiful area. You can fish at all those spots. So I'd say one of those 3 spots would be a good backpacking trip for beginners. Next question comes from Teresa Harmon. Says, have you ever seen a Bigfoot out and about? It's a funny story. I've never seen a Bigfoot that I know of. When I was a kid, I was probably, I was early teens, maybe 11, 12, 13, somewhere in there. We were doing a trip up to San Bernardino Peak with my church, and we were going along, the Manzanita Flats area. I remember seeing something across the way. It looked like it was moving a little bit, but not much. It was pretty tall. It looked almost like a dead stump, like a burnt stump. And it could have been a Bigfoot, could have been a bear, who knows, but we went between some bushes that were up a little bit higher. When we got around, it was gone. And it was probably a good 200 yards, 300 yards away from us. So I don't know what it was. Could have been Bigfoot, could have been a bear, or just could have been shadows playing on us. Who knows? Next question comes from my buddy Canyon Man Raj. And before I answer his question, if you can, check out his channel as well and say some prayers for him. He's got some stuff going on, and I know he can use his prayers, so keep him in your prayers, guys. He says, where did you spend your recreational time as a youngster? Locally here, the San Bernardino Mountains. My mom and dad took me camping up there, fishing up there, Jinx Lake, Santa River. We do family trips into Utah. We would stay at Zion National Park. We did a family trip up to Yellowstone. My aunt would take me out. We'd go up in the Eastern Sierras, Drive all the way up to Mount St. Helens, did Lassen, Crater Lake. Did a lot of national parks as a kid, but locally it was the San Bernardino Mountains. Doing a lot of fishing, like I said, Jinx Lake, Santa River, Gregory Lake, Lake Hemet, Green Valley Lake. When I was a kid, every chance I got to fish, I was fishing almost every weekend for a while. So yeah, those are the areas I grew up going for. And good luck with everything, Roger. We know you'll pull through. The last question here is from OG Adventures. It says, the question I would have for you is, what fishing technique or strategy was a game changer in regards to fishing for wild trout? That would be fishing mini jigs, but not just any mini jigs. You're going to use like a 1/64 of an ounce, 1/32 of an ounce at the heaviest. Excuse me. And what you're going to use are natural colors, and that's the game changer right there. Natural colors that look like the fish that are in the lake, something like a grasshopper, some shad, anything like that are natural colors. Not no hot pink, no like margarita color, I think they call it, white and green. Maybe yellow and white because it might imitate like a bee or something like that, but just natural colors. The more natural they look, the fish are going to bite. So that'd be my tip for some of those wild trout. Thank you once again for all those questions. I truly appreciate it, and I appreciate all the comments and support for my family in these times. Duly noted. Really appreciate it. And I said my buddy Raj, Canyon Man Raj, say some extra prayers for him as well. Links to all the channels down below that got YouTube channels, and thank you once again. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it that like, give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, ring the bell for notifications and new videos I got coming out. Don't forget to subscribe and check out that join button over there too. So till the next one, thanks for having me.